Hey folks, welcome to the What the Futures podcast, episode number 47. As always, recorded in the UPL studio. I hope you're having a great, positive Friday. I've got Trent Clarenbach with Clarenbach Research. He's joining us in Drumheller. He's going to give us a little bit of a teaser here in this week's episode. We're going to talk about the conference in Drumheller. I've got more details for you. We've got the latest on crop marketing. What the heck is going on with wheat prices across the prairies? What is going on with fertilizer markets? And hey, what's even going on with how to buy canola seed right now? Let's talk about that in episode 47. So buckle up. Let's get going. Let's get after it. Hey folks, welcome to the What the Futures podcast, your quick guide to better farming decisions. All right, folks, welcome into the episode here, episode 47. I'm feeling a little bit rusty after taking a week off last week. I'm not sure if you guys missed the show or not, but we had a loss on my wife's side of the family. Spent some time in Saskatchewan, which was bittersweet. It led to some positive moments as well, which you'll see later on in this episode. But back behind the microphone, a little rusty, trying to get the kinks worked out here and get back into that groove, right? So, of course, I'm your host here of the What the Futures podcast. I have spent my career working with farmers across the prairie provinces, helping them with their crop marketing decisions as a buyer, coach, analyst, even led a group of analysts for a little while there with FBN, and decided to do the What the Futures podcast here. It's going to be a year coming up in just a couple of weeks, right? November of 2023 is when we got started. So lots to go over in this episode, lots to talk about. I can't believe we got Trent Clarenbach with us, but I can't believe, I'm so excited. We have Roxanne Levers with Rabobank, the head of Rabobank Canada. She's going to join us for the first night of the Make Crop Marketing Cool conference in Drumheller. And her presentation is off the charts. I am so pumped for night one of the conference. I've been watching Yvonne and the marketing team put together some of our content that we started to put on social media here finally. And the reason I say finally is because you guys have responded. Like, you guys are buying tickets, booking hotel rooms. It is filling out applications. It's phenomenal to see. And so we were talking, like, do we even have to promote this on social media really? But we have been, and the stuff's awesome. Anyways, I am so pumped for the conference. Trent and I are going to talk about it as well in this week's episode. And I've got some updates for you as well over the next few minutes in regards to the conference and other things. So let's get into it. All right, folks, I have Trent Clarenbach with Clarenbach Research joining me on the podcast. Trent, how's your week going?
Oh, the week's going great. It's, we're in Saskatoon here. It's nice out, and the markets, again, they're always exciting. So, yeah,
you bet. We've had an incredible week of, or a couple nice days of weather. Anyway, it's been a nice little surprise for October.
Yeah, for sure.
So Trent, I'm excited that you're on the podcast this week because we've been working hard in the background on putting together the conference here in December in Drumheller, the Make Crop Marketing Cool conference. You're coming to the conference, which is so exciting. And we've been asking farmers, I know it's not the most popular thing, but we've been asking farmers to apply to the conference because we want farmers in the room. Okay. We don't want just industry folks there. We want farmers in the room. And so farmers have been applying. And we've been asking them, I think there's 9 categories. What do you want to hear? Or what are you most excited to see? And technical analysis comes up in the top 2 out of 9. What do you think about that?
Well, I'm pleasantly surprised. I would never have guessed that, but I'm glad it's getting some recognition and people are taking interest. So.
Yeah, I think you're going to have a very engaged crowd for you in Drumheller. So that's exciting. I want to know, man, do you have, if you were, you're at the back of the room, you're about to go on stage, do you have a walk-up song that you'd want played? Is there anything that stands out for you?
I should have that. I should have an entrance song that would get me pumped up. It's it can be a little, well, it's getting easier, but the first few times I've walked up on stage, you're shaking, you're sweating. It's nerve-wracking. And this could be a tough crowd. It could be a tough crowd in Drumheller too. So we'll see.
Well, I didn't like public speaking at all at the start of my career. I'd lose sleep the night before. And I'm an easy blusher as well, right? So I get on stage, I'm red as a tomato. No matter what happens, I'm red as a tomato. So it's but now I love it. So I've been looking at my presentation, starting to build mine, and I'm incorporating a lot of music into my presentation for the one night. And I've been trying to pick walk-up songs, and man, I think I've got 50 to pick through right now. It's been lots of fun.
Oh, great.
Yeah. So Drumheller is going to be an absolute blast. So can you, without giving it away here, but is there anything in your presentation that you could give us a bit of a teaser or just a couple of highlights on what you plan on covering in Drumheller?
So the title of my presentation will be A Cheat Code for Grain Marketing. And it sounds a little clickbaitish, and it sounds, maybe it's supposed to get your attention a little bit, but it's what I really believe is what a cheat code for grain marketing and investing, or even stock trading for that matter. Basically it's a breakdown of trend analysis, how to identify where you are in the trend, and when that, how to identify when you want to enter the trend and where you want to exit the trend. And also I discuss the emotions commonly felt in each of those, each part of the trend cycle, or the 4 stages of the market structure. And the reason I do that is I think to be successful in business and life is to really need to understand who you are.
Yep.
And the better understanding of who you are, I think you'll be more successful with decision making. So I discuss that in my presentation and bring some attention to it. So
awesome. Well, that sounds fantastic. And we want farmers to come and sit and learn, take notes, and it looks like you're going to definitely check the boxes for that. So that's great. We have our first night, our keynote. I don't want to announce it quite yet, but their presentation is on each individual's not risk tolerance, but how you evaluate risk as a person, because we're all different. And so I think that and your presentation actually kind of lines up a little bit there too. So cool. All right. So you put out a ton of information, and folks, Clarenbach Research, that's where you have to Google and get on Trent's website and get some of his information going. You're putting out a lot of stuff. I've been reading a pile of your stuff here lately. Anything kind of stand out from a market's perspective? I noticed a few things myself, but I want you to share with us what you're seeing out there.
It's an interesting time. So the overall trend in most of these markets remains down. So, I'm bearish on the longer term timeframes. I need to respect the primary trend, which is down. However, we're seeing, I feel, beginning, and maybe I've actually already seen it, is what I call a bear market rally. So we're actually seeing a rally in probably all the commodities, and off this low from this late summer, and it's starting to, you want to use a term, green shoots, see some green shoots. Maybe you're starting to see some reasons to think this rally could sustain itself further into the later fall, maybe the new year. There's some heavy lifting overhead. There's a lot of supply overhead in most of these markets, and a lot of them are at technical and resistance levels. So I don't think it's going to, if it goes up, it's not going to go up in a straight line. But I think there was a bit of a capitulation moment late summer, maybe early harvest, and I think that typically symbolizes a bottom of the market. So we'll see if that holds true or not. So.
Yeah, I've noticed in your research, the short term, maybe neutral bullish stuff, and then long term, I keep seeing the bearish, and I'm like, can't wait till he turns that one into neutral or bullish for us, because that's the big one that I want to see. But I'm with you on that. All right, folks, what's cool in crop marketing for this week? Well, a hodgepodge of things here. Number one, oh boy, forgot I had the dinosaurs on the TV behind me. Okay, so we should talk about fertilizer here. Like, I'm recording this Wednesday afternoon. Hurricane Milton is about to make landfall here somewhere between Tampa Bay and Sarasota. Josh Linville with StoneX has been all over this here the last 4 or 5 days. Obviously, Florida, phosphate, key area of production there. So we're seeing phosphate prices climb across the prairies. You're seeing urea values climb as well. You've got, war in the Middle East. Lots of things happening that, I sit here and I kind of want to dig in my heels and say, well, economics are terrible. Fertilizer prices need to come down, but yet environmental factors are changing that. Geopolitical events are changing that. I have to eat crow here a little bit, or I have to pivot from my, cockiness of, oh, we're going to wait and we're all going to band together and we're going to wait and this fertilizer market's going to come down. We waited, fertilizer market stayed steady, but things are starting to happen now, which again, I don't like changing my position here like this, but what's going to allow fertilizer prices to drop? Maybe urea prices don't climb very much, very fast, but what's going to lead to it dropping? And I'm trying to figure out what that is. What I'll say to you, though, is things are evolving here. And, I don't think it is worth a review of your plan when it comes to fertilizer. Okay. Now, I've got a presentation here in December about efficiencies when it comes to fertilizer at the conference. I'm hoping to get that individual on pre-conference to talk about it a little bit, but efficiencies, that's very important for 2025. But things that are happening here in the market out of our control that can lead to higher prices, and we have to talk about it, right? Okay. Wheat basis continues to improve, but in some parts of the prairies, that nearby demand is kind of filled up. You saw targets hitting, you saw lots of movement for wheat. That movement's still there, and targets are still very effective. In fact, I like having a wheat target in place right now, 40, 50 cents above the market, depending on where you're at, just because they seem to be triggering. And as Trent Clarenbach said, the wheat chart looks pretty good too. You might say, well, Ryan, that's kind of crazy. Why would you throw a target out there when the market's looking healthy? And the reason I do is because you want to grab. They're not just changing basis willy-nilly across the prairies. They're not just changing basis here and saying, oh, here's a better basis for you. Like, away you go. Like, the way they're doing it is they're doing it through targets first. And then once they get kind of, that's done, they've bought what they can, then they go and improve basis after that, or think about it. So it's not just happening. You got to have it on a target to get. All right. Wheat, lower protein wheat. It is being bought in portions of the prairies with no discount. So what I mean by that is posted bid for a 113.5 and you have a 112.5. They're not discounting you in portions of the prairies. Okay. So if you're sitting here under with some lower protein, it's now at the point and I said this right a while back that we might see this. Well, it's starting to happen now where protein discounts are not there. They're void. You can haul a 12.5 against their 13.5 with no discount in portions of the prairies. Okay. Seeing some of this in Alberta, seeing some of this in Saskatchewan. If you're in this situation with some low protein stuff, worth the conversation with your buyers. All right. 2025, fall of 2025 offers are coming out. Lots of action. CPS prices, hard red prices, canola prices. Things are happening with many companies now for next year. Again, financial plan, break even, What are you staring at for margin? Then you can go and start working your plan on the sales side. I know some of you don't like that. You don't want a forward contract. You don't have maybe the confidence to forward contract. I get it. I understand. I'm not the one who had to write the buyout check, right? You did potentially, but you're going to come to Drumheller. You're going to learn how to tackle that and how to gain some confidence in that plan. All right. But 2025 offers are exciting because we get a chance to start getting some margin locked in, right? Am I excited to lock in a loss this early? No. It's one of my crop marketing rules. You know, I don't lock in a loss this early in the marketing plan unless I really think this thing doesn't have any more life to it. But so much stuff can happen during the growing season. If I'm staring down a loss, I just leave it for the time being until I get that crop much closer to harvest. Yellow peas, just wanted to make a comment on this, and you know, I'll let you shrug your shoulders on this one a little bit. But so back in the day as a buyer, so yellow pea bids they're kind of stagnant. They've rallied and then just kind of backed off here, or pardon me, held for the most part. But someone asked me, like, Ryan, yellow pea should be climbing. Like, what's up? Why aren't they climbing anymore? And so what can happen is when your merchant comes to you as a buyer, they'll say, hey, you know, we have a chance at some more peas here. Let us know what volume, how many cars could you buy? Could you do a full train of peas at a set price? And then you, as a buyer, you might phone a few farmers and test the waters and see what they say. But if you as the buyer, if you come back and you don't have confidence in that price, then that train doesn't necessarily get booked, or it doesn't get booked, right? And so for some regions, I'm not saying that we've run out of yellow peas, but we've shipped a lot more yellow peas than I think what a lot of people assume. And so do the buyers and the merchants have confidence that they can go and get what they need at a certain price? So things are just kind of quiet. Farmers aren't really selling. The merchants aren't super excited, getting everyone excited on the buy side. So, you know, I think we just need to see some confidence from the merchant that they're going to be able to buy at that next level. And because as a farmer, are you going to sell it? That's what I asked the other grower. I'm like, if they came at you with 12, are you selling it? He's like, I don't know. I'm like, exactly. How do you think the merchant feels on that side? So I don't know. Something to think about there. Maybe shrug your shoulders at that one. And then lastly, I had red lentils here making a move. 32 and a half cents, 33 cents in some portions of the prairies. Again, coming out of a bit of a seasonal bottom here. I thought production was good on lentils. I thought Australia looked pretty good, but hey, a little bit of demand here, you know, leading into red lentils. And in my opinion, it's giving you a selling opportunity here. I like getting some red lentils sold at these values. I was a seller before this. I'm still a seller at where we're at today. Canola, I didn't have much. I saw, you know, beans were pulling back. Some of the bullish oilseed stories have relaxed here a little bit. You know, you've got, China and the, you know, financial stimulus package, you know, everyone looking for a bit more there and didn't get it. So China, you know, the recession over there or the economic issues that can kind of weigh. You've got a good window for soybean harvest in the US, nice open window there. So that's putting a bit of pressure on beans. Anyways, canola values are pulling back here. Now, I'll say on canola, I've been I was a heavier seller earlier this, late spring, early summer, and a bit more here last, I guess in August. I haven't done anything on the canola side here for 24. I've been picking away at 2025 sales. But I just don't mind the setup here. I know the chart's pulling back, but I don't mind the setup right now on the chart. And I just see these lower canola yields across the prairies. And to me, the StatsCan number is going to come down again. All right. So that's why I'm not too eager there. That's it for what's cool in crop marketing this week. And we'll see what we can come up with for next week. And each and every week, I say a big thank you to John Deere for your support of the What the Futures podcast. So a big shout out to you guys. I wanted to just spend a quick second here. We think of John Deere, we think of the wonderful equipment, the X9, so on and so forth. But John Deere also has harvestprofit.com, Harvest Profit, where you can go and get set up for your profit, cost and profit tracking. You can go and get set up for your cost of production. Planning right now, it's super important. You're making fertilizer decisions, seed decisions. You're already in mode for next year. At least I am. I know you are too, and I am. So go check out harvestprofit.com and check out that great software they have for farmers who care about that stuff. And now it's time for one of my favorite segments of each and every week, Positive Moments. Of course, a chance where I get to overshare with you. But anyways, this week, I've got a couple here. First of all, Finn. So Finn he's going to be 2 in January, right? And so it's so exciting to watch these small children, watch them evolve. But he has now strung together 2 words, and it has been life-changing for all of us in the house, okay? Can you guess what those 2 words are? So what he's doing now, he's roaming around the house and the yard, and he looks at something, then he looks at me, he looks at it again, then he looks back at me and says, "What's that?" That's it. What's that? Instead of grunting and pointing or whatever, what's that? You should see the explanations that I have to come up with now. There's a few things where I'm like, what's that? I'm like, I don't even know what that is, dude. But anyways, what's that has been blowing our mind here over the last week. It's been, life-changing. Second positive moment. So like I said earlier in the episode, we lost Chantel's grandmother, and her gathering was last week, funeral and celebration of life and all that stuff. But I also I got to be on the farm for the last day of harvest, which was not in the plans originally, and weather, was part of that, and travel was part of that. But we got to be there. Finley and I were there for the last day of harvest. We got to be in the field with the demo combine. We had an X9 out. Finley's been pretty spoiled, just cruising in X9s all fall. It was X9s with Rick and Scott and the farm, and so he's pretty spoiled. But we got to be there. We got to throw the hat in the combine at the very end. And hey, the yield was, it was actually pretty good the last couple of days on the canola as well. So that was a nice, pleasant surprise. So it was really, I haven't been on the farm for the last day of harvest in quite a while. So it was pretty cool to be there and to have, our machines, the demo, and the neighbors, the Goyers were over helping as well. So there was, 5 combines out there, 2 grain carts, 3 semis, and it was chaos, and it was just so cool and fun to be out there. Last positive moment for the week, and I'll just see if I can pull this up. It's from the Lunchbox crew, but this came from one of the guys in the Lunchbox crew. And he says, "Thank you for the Tim's Coffee and Donuts. I'll talk about that another day. It was nice. It was a nice treat in the middle of harvest. Also, thanks to the Lunchbox crew for helping to provide information and confidence to execute our grain marketing plan. All of our grain is in the elevator. We finished with a $13.94 per bushel average on canola and a $9.02 bushel average on wheat, hard red spring wheat." So the reason that this is in my positive moments is because we all have different plans, okay? Like like these folks move everything in the fall very, very quickly. A 902 average, and it's all in the elevator, like that's incredible, okay? But the key here is they executed their plan with confidence, finished their crop marketing year how they wanted to finish. And hey, with those prices, I think that's pretty cool as well. So I thought that was a really nice positive moment for the week, and a little feather in the cap for the Lunchbox crew as well, and for the farm. They're the ones doing all the hard work out there, but they executed their plan and got it done, and that's why it's a positive moment. I forgot. My buddy just texted me as I'm recording. my other positive moment is I get to go to the Oilers game here on Wednesday, the home opener against Winnipeg. And I'm wearing my Western Conference Championship hat from last year. But he won a package. I get to go and tour Rogers Place, like in the behind the scenes on game day. So I'm super pumped for that. He just sent me a text. If you look at commodities as a whole, is there any one that is performing maybe more a little different than others? Is there one that's showing maybe more life or less life? Anything kind of stand out the last couple of days?
Well, canola, it gets our attention, and we saw that rally in canola, and found resistance right where we anticipated. It was a technical level of resistance, and we're getting that pullback now. I like how that canola chart feels to me. I think there's opportunity for some higher prices there, but I mean, everything from the wheats, hard red spring wheat in particular, probably looks the best in my opinion, off the cuff best in my opinion. Yeah. So I'm excited about that one. So
yeah, I'm with you. I was looking at the wheat chart this morning and thinking, this one's interesting. It's doesn't seem as scary as it was. So all right. Now, I want to switch gears just a little bit here, and I want to give listeners just a peek at how you deliver your information as well. I feel like you've made a little tweak here lately on how you deliver your info. Is that something real, or am I just kind of dreaming that?
No, I think that's a fair assessment. So when I first started, I was concerned about too many emails, too much content, and I was publishing basically when I saw something that was interesting to me, I was just cognizant of not putting out too much information. And then I started getting feedback. People wanted, I like to see more content. It's been a week or 2 weeks since you've talked about red lentils, right? So I started publishing more frequently. We started producing videos, I think, back in May. And I quite enjoy doing the videos and getting more comfortable in front of the videos. And I also believe that's a good way of learning. I seem to learn best from the combination of visual and hearing, actually, listening and sight. So what I started doing is I started doing more frequent newsletters, trying to cover all the newsletters in a timely fashion, and incorporated videos with a summary in the newsletter. So the newsletter, the print portion, I'll call it, is shorter than it used to be, but it contains a summary of the video, and I'm getting positive feedback with that also. So I think people are in their machines, they're driving down the road, they can listen, they can, watch if they're in their combine or something, I guess. And it seems to be a good way to deliver. So I've really amped it up that way. So
yeah, awesome. Well, I like being able to pick and choose. And so you send it out, and some stuff I'm like, yeah, I really got to read that now, or listen now, or watch it now. And then other things, I'm going to check that one out a little bit later, or it's not as urgent for my operation. So that's great. Okay. So I just want to go back here just a little bit as well. For yourself coming out to Drumheller, is there anything you're looking forward to specifically by making the journey out to Alberta?
Well, I really enjoy being in a room of progressive thinkers. And I like what you're doing. I know some of the people who are using your service, your Lunchbox crew, and I see what you're doing. I like what you're doing. I champion what you're doing. I see other people who are, are following along and joining your team. And I just can't stress enough how I just enjoy being in a room full of progressive farmers, and I think you're attracting them. So I'm really looking forward to Drumheller.
Yeah, me too. We've got Yvonne's been putting just a pile of effort in the background. She helps me with all the marketing stuff, and she keeps everything organized and moving for me. And we are just really dialed into even the small details. And I'm going to be super excited watching people, walk in with a smile on their face and see what comes out of it. I think I know that there's going to be a lot of positive that comes out of it, and that everyone's going to take away some learnings and some education. and it's going to make them even better crop marketers in 2025 and beyond. And so that's what I'm really excited about too.
I agree. I think it's a great concept, and I think it's going to be a great event. Looking forward to it.
All right. So we've talked about some markets, that are turning a little friendlier in the short term here. We've talked about the conference. We're going to work on your walk-up song. We'll see if we can get something for you in Drumheller. Anything else you want to cover off today, Trent? I really appreciate you coming on.
Well, I'm thankful for the opportunity, Ryan. I always enjoy our conversations, and I like what you're doing. I got respect for what you're doing. I was telling someone the other day that, this Ryan, he's solid, is what I told him. That's what I told him.
I appreciate that.
Yeah. And, so it's good. It's, I'm looking forward to Drumheller. I think, hopefully with my presentation there, it'll provide a different spin to grain marketing. And I do believe that, we're emotional creatures, and we can understand how we feel, what we're feeling, and why we're feeling that way. I think we can make better decisions, just not only in grain marketing, but our economic decisions, and maybe our land purchases and machinery purchases, everything else. So I think it's a concept that's often overlooked and underestimated. When I first started trading, for example, I didn't understand that. And, it's critical to really, have some understanding of your emotions and develop some sort of control over them. So.
Oh yeah. I'm an emotional person. I'm French, so I'm an emotional person. And, there's certain times where I get caught for sure, where I'm emotionally invested in, what I think this market's going to do, and it does the opposite. And I sit there frustrated, wondering why didn't I see that, or what am I missing here? But it happens to me as well.
Yeah.
All right, Trent. Well, I can't wait to see you in Drumheller. We got a room full of great farmers coming to the conference, and I really appreciate taking time to jump on the podcast this week.
Well, thank you very much, Ryan, and I look forward to Drumheller also. It'll be a great time.
Take care.
Thank you.
So for housekeeping this week, couple things here. I'm gonna spend most of the time here talking about some conference stuff. But before we get to that, I'm traveling between Edmonton and Saskatoon and seeing the amount of canola and oats left to harvest. So I think we got to keep the song of the week going for those of you that are grinding it out into Thanksgiving weekend and beyond. I know it's not over for many of you. You'll be going here mid to late October as well. So, stay after it. You're doing a great job out there. But my song of the week is Beds Are Burning by Midnight Oil. And if you're like me, you sit here and say, what is he talking about? Burning, beds are burning. Just once you hear it, you're like, oh yeah, that song. It's one of those that you just don't think about very often. All right. So we got that. Now, can we talk just for a second? I just want to slip this in here because it's a little bit of like a trade industry secret. Okay. I'm a grain guy, right? I've been selling grain and advising farmers. Like that's what I do. But I've always worked with farms to help them increase the bottom line on the farm. Okay. Increase, margin. And so sometimes we talk about the purchase side of things on the farm. And I just want to tell you about a little canola seed story here from the last couple of days. Number one, when it comes to canola seed prices, as a farmer, as a buyer, the early bird does not get the worm in the canola seed game. So I worked for a company back in the day, and I got exposed to the canola seed side, actually with two different companies. And everybody sits and plans all year long about price and what price is going to be. And then they finally put the price out there. All right. They put their price out there to farmers. And it's always the highest price. It's the highest one. Okay. Because then the intel starts coming in. The intel comes in. Whoa, that company's lower there. Oh, what? They're higher. Okay. It starts to roll in and it moves. The market moves. Okay. It always moves. And this is what's happening this week. Now, it's not going to be a surprise to you listening. But But if you're in a spot where a company has high market share, so they have done their work to grow their market share in your area, their prices they tend to be higher for you. So, call it seed A, B, and C. Seed A, in parts of it's different all across the prairie. See, everybody knows this, right? But the area where everyone has decided that that's the one that they like the most and are buying, your price is the highest, which you might think Ryan, that seems backwards. But no, you're already going to book it or not that you're going to book it anyway, but you're booking that, your market share is there. The data is there that's the one you like, or your area likes. So your price is higher. And then all of a sudden you have areas where they're trying to increase market share, and that's where the prices are lowest. All right. And so we saw some action here in Saskatchewan this week where one area, again, price is high, got some data for some lower prices out of another area. And yeah, there was some price change of $50 a bag. $50 a bag, what was that? 5-ish% of the 6.5%, something like that of the price changing. But we're seeing prices evolve, okay? And, this is a podcast about crop marketing, but this is a podcast about, transparency and as much as we can in agriculture across the prairies. And, I've said it last year as well, like we'll pick out things that are interesting. So my rant not my rant, but my rambling here, just means that once you get your quotes out there and you get them back from a few companies, you don't have to jump right away. You can revisit and see what transpires. The Lunchbox crew, again, the power of information and a network. We talk about different things. We had a great discussion about yield and what varieties performed in what ways across the prairies. And as you can tell, like some varieties perform very well in some areas and not as great in other areas. It's very interesting to see, but it was farmer to farmer conversation and farmer to farmer reviewing results. And then, of course, we've been talking about some other fertilizer prices and canola seed prices. And, it's the power of a network and just kind of grounding what we're seeing out there. And it's really fun to watch. Really, really fun. So that's kind of my canola seed thing for this week. Again, I'm not trying to throw anybody under the bus. Everything I said there is common industry knowledge, but the early bird doesn't get the worm in this case. It never does. So just circle back, do a bit more digging. And it wouldn't surprise yourself. Like if you had a farming family member, like in another part of a province, and you were like, hey, by the way, would you care to tell me, like, what did you get for this variety? You might be surprised at the difference in price. In my region as well, I know who is the most aggressive. I think I know who's the most aggressive on price. And it's interesting. It's fun to watch. All right, let's talk about the conference here. And a couple things. So again, thank you. Your enthusiasm, excitement, your willingness to apply is just phenomenal. And I want to talk about some of these applications anonymously in just a second, because there's a theme here. And you might be sitting on the fence thinking, well, I don't know if this conference is for me, but I want you to hear why some people are coming. I also want to say, before I get to those, is that we are having a pre-conference Zoom call, some pre-work. It's going to be mid-November here, and we're going to do an hour, maybe an hour and a half. We're going to record it. So if you are registered for the conference and can't make it, we'll get that recording to you. But it's for people that are registered to come to the conference. We want everyone to have a certain baseline of knowledge, and also just things that you can prepare at home in preparation for the conference, because I think there's little things that you can do to get yourself ready. And we kind of will start the work a little early, because I'm just realizing, 2-ish days of content spread over 3, well, I don't know, 2 days and a night, I guess. But we could go a week, right, and still not cover everything. So we're going to do a pre-conference, and we're going to do a post conference Zoom call as well, just to see how everyone's making out with their crop marketing plans, and just to again share some expertise from some of the great folks across Western Canada. But here are a couple of applications that came through, and again, I'm not going to say names. It's not important in this area, but we asked one of the questions. What challenges are you currently facing in crop marketing? And this answer came through. We asked, I don't know, a dozen questions here or so, but so what challenges are you currently facing in crop marketing? Executing on sales and getting over the feeling of, what if it goes higher? Right? That emotional side, that's a very, very big one and a very difficult one to cover. Not sure where to begin to make a crop marketing plan. Like, what is a crop marketing plan, and where do we start? We're going to talk about that at the conference. I have a trading account, but I want to gain confidence in how to use it. That's a huge one. The next one, the next application here, what challenges are you currently facing? Reluctant to sign up for targets, when these markets are so volatile. Confidence in the ability to make good marketing decisions. What challenges are you currently facing? Market volatility. What do you hope to achieve by attending the conference? A better understanding of hedging. If we talk about who's coming as teammates as well, there's lots of parents and their kids. Some kids are my age, right? Like, there's a few, my dad's 60 something, I'm 30 something. We're coming to the conference. There's a lot of that. What do you hope to achieve by attending this conference? New strategies to help with cash flow and reduce risk. What challenges are you facing? Being profitable. Worried about buyouts. That comes through quite a bit here. What challenges are you facing? Time is so limited. Plus, I don't have the best idea on when or what to sell. So simply deciding to sell when price is higher and cash is required doesn't sound right. That's a lot of stuff coming here as well, as selling when you need cash. Of course, that's important. You gotta, I talk about it all the time with the banker. You got to keep the banker happy. But usually the selling decision and when you need cash flow, you have to separate those out in many cases. Lots of, learning more about options trading, a futures account. That comes through on a lot of applications. Understanding the jargon in marketing, all the different terms out there. What are you currently facing for a challenge? They've got a diverse farm with different, parents and kids involved, and everyone's got a different level of understanding of markets. This is all the stuff coming through in the applications, folks. And I'll continue to talk about these stories over the next couple of weeks. But again, this conference is made for you. It's made for farmers across the prairies. It's farmers in the room. And those are some of the challenges and some of the things that people are looking to take away from the crop marketing conference here in Drumheller. The last thing I want to say on this, and then I'll move on, is the agenda. We have a lot of areas covered off here, but I'm just curious if there's anything else top of mind. You can email me, Ryan@whatthefuturespodcast.ca, and say, Ryan, you need to cover this topic. You need to cover this in Drumheller. Let me know what that is. And hey, we'll try to make sure we can get that covered as well. But we have a huge agenda here already. Okay. Now, that's it for housekeeping for this week. All right, for eating your veggies this week, brought to you by the Crop Marketing Made Cool conference in Drumheller. Head over to ryandenny.ca. You'll see 2024 conference. You can go there. You can apply for the conference, and we can get you set up to buy some tickets there as well. 4 things this week. Number 1, fertilizer needs. You got to review those needs, and you have to consider booking your fertilizer. We talked about it enough today. You've been hearing about it all over the marketplace. I do think you have to do that as well. Number 2, canola seed. Again, maybe that segment rubbed a few people the wrong way. We'll see. But, you can grind a little bit there and get some of those prices down. 2025. So eating your veggies, number 3, your 2025 crop plan. Take a look at it. Update it. Do a little cost of production work. We've been working on the 25 plan for months already. If you haven't, you gotta take it out, get it going, dust it off. It's time. All right. Booking fertilizer, booking canola seed, booking wheat seed, all sorts of things happening for next year. You got to get going. And that 2025 crop marketing plan, that's number 4, getting some targets out there and building a plan with margin and confidence for next year. Just you're going to look at your crop plan, your numbers, flip that, get some sales done as well. And I know it might feel early for some of you, but there's good carry in these markets, folks. We've had some rallies. Price outlooks still bearish, but price in between has rallied a little bit. Again, some of you are staring down $9 hard red for next fall, $8 hard red, $9 hard red. I will find me a scenario where it's under $8 for hard red for next year across Western Canada. Find me that scenario for fall of 2025. Why aren't you considering those sales, right? All right. In closing, if you found this episode useful, please share it with a friend, neighbor, colleague in your local ag community. Also spread the word on the conference as well. I appreciate that. I expect we're going to sell out. That's not a sales tactic. It's just reality. And so if you know someone that needs to be at that conference or you think they do, hey, let them know. And if you're an ag company, you're like, okay, Ryan's not inviting us as industry to the show or to the conference, but we still want to participate. Email me, reach out, and hey, maybe we can, you can get some tickets for some of your customers or something like that. There's still a way if you're an ag industry company that wants to participate in the conference. Hey, just reach out and we'll see what we can do together. Of course, prices and strategies may change by the time we record and send this out. It's recorded usually Wednesdays for a Friday release. Stuff happens, things change. If you want to be a guest on the show, send me an email as well or head to ryandenny.ca. Have a great weekend, folks. Have a great positive Friday. I'm out.